Hello viewers, welcome to online course on Mathematics 3. And this course for undergraduate students or BTech student for engineering field. So today we are going to discuss about residue theorem for finite pole or at infinite pole. So myself Sanjay Vishwas, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, Department of Applied Science and Humanities, of Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. So here is my details of contact information and mail ID. If you have facing any kind of problem regarding my online class, you can call me or send message with my mail ID sanjay.vishwas@gnit.ac.in. So before we start the today's lecture, let's quickly recall in the last lecture. So in last lecture we have discussed about zeros and singularities of a function, that means the analytic function. So I have discussed in previous class the definition of zeros of an analytic function. After that I have talking about the singularities of an analytic function and some related examples on zeros and singularities of an analytic function. Then we have discussed essential singularities and poles and how to find the singularities and pole from the Lorentz series expansion, and some related theorem I have discussed in previous class, and I have talked about some related examples on essential singularities and pole. Let us move on the next slide. So this is our 10th lecture on online course of Mathematics 3, and this is actually the residue theorem on analytic function, and this lecture is on the chapter 3 on complex analysis, that means zeros and singularities of an analytic function or residue theorem. So in this lecture, here is the content of today's lecture. So the first we are going to discuss about the residue theorem, and after that we'll talk about some computation of residue theorem at the finite pole. So in this section we will continue to discuss about the residue theorem at a simple pole. After that we'll discuss about the residue theorem at a pole of order m and residue theorem at infinity, and then we'll continue our discussion with the Cauchy's residue theorem and the proof of this Cauchy's residue theorem, and some related problems we'll discuss in this lecture. First of all, we'll begin with the residue theorem, the statement of residue theorem. So let z is equal to alpha be a pole of order n of a single valued function f of z, and C be any circle of radius r and center at the point z is equal to alpha, containing no other singularities except z is equal to alpha. So the pole is actually the points where the function f of z, that means any Lorentz series, summation over n is equal to 0 to infinity n into z minus alpha whole to the power n plus summation over n is equal to 1 to infinity bn into z minus alpha whole to the power n. This is called a Lorentz series. Okay, and the second part of this Lorentz series is called a part of this series. And if the principal part will contain a finite number of terms, say m, then z is equal to alpha has a pole of order m. This is actually the definition of a pole of a function. So therefore then the function f of z is regular within the region 0 less than modulus of z minus alpha less than r. So alpha is the center of a circle and r is the radius of a circle. Okay, then we can expand f of x in Lorentz series expansion in the region 0 less than modulus of z minus alpha less than r. So this is actually the annular region of the circle C. Okay. Therefore, f of z is equal to summation over n is equal to 0 to infinity n into z minus alpha whole to the power n plus summation over n is equal to 1 to infinity. This is actually 1 to infinity bn into z minus alpha whole to the power minus n. This is called a Lorentz series expansion. Okay. So where n is equal to 1 by 2 pi I, and you know this is actually the principal part of this Lorentz series, and if this part will contain a finite number of terms, say m, then f of z has a pole at z is equal to alpha of order m. Okay, this is called the pole of a order m, and in this case where n is equal to 1 by 2 pi I close integration over c fz by z minus alpha whole to the power n plus 1 dz, and bn is equal to 1 by 2 pi I close integration over c z minus alpha whole to the power n minus 1 f of z dz. So you know, in particular, if we put n is equal to 1, then from the second integration, I mean to say this one, we'll get b1 is equal to 1 by 2 pi I close integration over c f of z dz. So at the point z is equal to n is equal to 1, so z minus alpha whole to the power 1 minus 1, and it will be 1. Okay, or this value will gives 1. So therefore b1 is equal to 1 by 2 pi I close integration over c f of z dz, and the coefficient of b1 is called the residue of the function f of z at the point z is equal to alpha. Or if the Lorentz series f of z, this one is actually is equals to, you know, n is equal to 0 to infinity n into z minus alpha minus summation over n is equal to 1 to infinity bn into z minus alpha whole to the power minus n. So if this series can be expressed as a finite number of terms, the coefficient of 1 by z minus alpha, that means b1, is called the residue at z is equal to alpha for the function f of z. Now move on the next slide. So in this slide we will discuss about the computation of residue at a finite pole. So in this section we will discuss about the residue at a simple pole. After that we will discuss about residue at a finite pole, and then we will continue to discuss about residue at infinity. Okay. First of all, we will talk about the residue at a simple pole. So in this section, if z is equal to alpha is a simple pole of f of z, then the Lorentz series or Lorentz expansion is of the form f of z is equal to summation over n is equal to 0 to infinity n into z minus alpha whole to the power n plus b1 by z minus alpha. So the coefficient of 1 by z minus alpha, that means b1, is called the residue at a simple pole z is equal to alpha, and is given by residue res of f of alpha. It is denoted by res of alpha is equals to b1, and b1 is the coefficient of 1 by z minus alpha, and is equals to limit z tends to alpha z minus alpha into f of z. So this is the mathematical expression for the residue at simple pole. So res of f of alpha, so residue of f of alpha, and this is equals to the b1, and b1 is a coefficient of z minus alpha 1 by is equals to limit z tends to alpha z minus alpha into f of z. Okay, or residue at f of alpha is equal to 1 by 2 pi I close integration over c f of z dz, and from this we will get integration over c f of z dz is equal to 2 pi I residue of f of alpha. Okay, so this is the integral value of f of z, and from this we will find the value of this integration, and this is equals to 2 pi I into residue of f of alpha. So after that we are going to talk about the residue at a pole of order m. So if z is equal to alpha be a pole of order m of a function f of z, and suppose this function is equal to phi of z by z minus alpha whole to the power m. So that means f of z has a pole of order n. Okay, where the denominator part, the power of denominator part is equals to n. So that is the function f of z has a pole of order n. Then the residue of f of z at z is equal to alpha is given by phi to the power m minus 1 of alpha by m minus 1 factorial. Okay, this is the mathematical expression for the residue of f alpha at the point z is equal to alpha of order m. Therefore, and is denoted by residue of f of alpha is equal to phi to the power m minus 1 of alpha by m minus 1 factorial. Okay, now we consider some problems on residue at a finite pole. So in particular, if f of z is equal to phi of z by z minus alpha whole square, and from this we will get the residue at z is equal to alpha, and the residue at z is equal to alpha is equal to phi dash z. Okay. Next we are going to take one more function f of z is equal to say phi of z by z minus alpha whole to the power 3. So in this regard we will get the residue at z is equal to alpha, and this is equals to phi double dash z by 2 factorial. Okay, if we apply this theorem or this definition of residue at the finite pole alpha, and that means the order of n. Okay, so therefore f of z is equal to phi of z by z minus alpha whole to the power 3, and then from this we will get the residue at z is equal to alpha, and it will be phi double dash z by 2 factorial. Okay, and you know we have seen that in a residue theorem, f of z at a pole z is equal to alpha is the coefficient, that means the residue of f of z at a z is equal to alpha is actually the coefficient of 1 by z minus alpha, and I have already talked in the previous slide. The coefficient of 1 by z minus alpha is called the residue in the Lorentz series of the function f of z. After that we are going to talk about the residue at infinity. So in this case, if the function f of z has a isolated singularities at infinity or is not analytic there, then the residue of f of z at z is equal to infinity is given by minus 1 by 2 pi I close integration over c fz dz, where c be a circle, and you know where c is the large circle containing all the finite singularities of f of z of integration along c is performed in a anti-clockwise direction, provided that this integral has a definite value. Okay, so therefore the residue of f of z at infinity is computed. There are two procedures to find the residue of the function f of z at infinity. The first one is as limit z tends to alpha minus z into f of z, and from this we will get the residue. Okay, and the second one is the coefficient of 1 minus 1 by z in the expansion of f of z in a Lorentz series will get the residue at infinity. So therefore residue of the function f of z at 0 is equals to the coefficient of 1 by z in the expansion of f of z. So that is the residue at the point z is equal to 0. Actually the coefficient of 1 by z in the Lorentz series. Okay, so the coefficient of 1 by z in the Lorentz series is called the residue at z is equal to 0 for the function f of z. After that we are going to talk some related examples on residue theorem. So first problem is find the residue of z into cos 1 by z at z is equal to 0. So actually from this problem we are looking for find the Lorentz series. Okay, and you know in a Lorentz series the coefficient of 1 by z that means we are going to find the residue at z is equal to 0. That means from this we are going to find the coefficient of 1 by z, and coefficient of 1 by z in a Lorentz series is called the residue of the function. Okay, so here is the function f of z, and f of z is equal to z into cos 1 by z. Now expanding the function cos 1 by z in a Taylor series, and we'll get z into 1 minus 1 by 2 factorial into 1 by z square. After that the third term here will be 1 by 4 factorial into 1 by z to the power 4, and so on. Okay, so there are infinite number of terms, and in a infinite series there are infinite number of terms. So now we multiply by z on this series, we'll get the first term is z minus second term will be 1 by 2z, third term will be 1 by 24z square, and so on. Okay, so the coefficient of 1 by z, so in this series we will get the coefficient of 1 by z, and it will be minus 1 by 2. That is the residue of f of 0, that means at the point z is equal to 0 is equals to minus 1 by 2. After that we'll take one more example on residue theorem. So here is the example: f of z is equal to z to the power 3 by z square minus 1 at z is equal to infinity. So from this problem we are going to find the residue at z is equal to infinity. That means we are looking for find the coefficient of minus 1 by z. So the coefficient of minus 1 by z is the residue at the point z is equal to infinity. I have already mentioned in the previous slide. So f of z is equal to z to the power 3 by z square minus 1. So now we take z squared as common, and we'll get z square into 1 minus 1 by z square. And now 1 minus 1 by z square can be expressed as a infinite series. So this is equals to z into 1 plus 1 by z square plus 1 by z to the power 4 plus 1 by z to the power 6 and up to infinity. And after multiplying by z, we will get z plus 1 by z plus 1 by z cube plus 1 by z to the power 5. Okay, so this term will obtain after multiplying by z for this function. So therefore the coefficient of minus 1 by z is actually minus 1. So therefore the residue at infinity is equals to the minus of coefficient of 1 by z, and this is equals to minus 1. Now we will go for the third example on residue theorem. So here is the example: determine the order of each pole and calculate the residue of the function f of z is equal to 1 minus 2z by z into z minus 1 into z minus 2 at the pole. So first of all we are going to find the pole of a functions, and after that at each pole we are going to find the residue of a function. So let's start. So here the function, or consider the function f of z is equal to 1 minus 2z by z into z minus 1 into z minus 2. And the pole of a function will obtain when the denominator part will be 0. And I have already mentioned in the previous class how to find the pole of a function. So if the denominator part will be 0, then from this we will get the pole of a function. So here the denominator part is actually z into z minus 1 into z minus 2, and therefore the pole of a function f of z are given by z into z minus 1 into z minus 2, and it will be 0. And from this, so there are three factors, so the is equals to 0, and from this we will get the each factor and it will be 0. Therefore first of all z is equal to 0, z minus 1 is equal to 0, as well as z minus 2 is equal to 0, and this implies z is equal to 0 comma 1 comma 2. So therefore the pole of the functions f of z are 1, 2 and 0, and which are all the simple pole. Now we are going to find the residue at z is equal to 0, z is equal to 1 and z is equal to 2. So first of all we are going to find the residue at z is equal to 0. So residue at z is equal to 0, and it will be limit. This is the definition of the residue function. Limit z tends to 0, z into f of z, and the f of z is the given function, and f of z is equal to 1 minus 2z by z into z minus 1 into z minus 2. So from this we will get limit z tends to 0, z into 1 minus 2z by z into z minus 1 into z minus 2. So after cancelling the term z on numerator and denominator, and from this it will gives limit z tends to 0 into 1 minus 2z by z minus 1 into z minus 2. Okay, so now put z is equal to 0 in this expression, and from this we will get the value of z, and it will be 1 by 2. So therefore the residue at the point z is equal to 0 is equals to 1 by 2. Similar thing will happen in the second and third residue at z is equal to 1 and z is equal to 2. So at z is equal to 1, the residue function of f of z is equals to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z, and from this we will get the value of z at z is equal to 1. That means the residue of f of z at z is equal to 1, and after putting the value z is equal to 1, it will give the value 1. So therefore the residue at z is equal to 1 for the given function is equals to 1, and after that we are going to find the residue at z is equal to 2, and the 2 is the pole of a function. So residue at z is equal to 2, and it will be limit z tends to 2, z minus 2 into f of z, and if we put z is equal to 2 in this function, and it will be and it will give the value, and the value is equals to minus 3 by 2. So therefore the residue at the pole z is equal to 0, and it will give half, and residue at the point z is equal to 1, and it will give 1, and residue at z is equal to 2, and where 2 is a pole of a function, and from this we'll get the value of a function, and it will be minus 3 by 2. Let us move on the next example. So here is the example. This is the example number 4. Consider the function f of z is equal to 1 by z plus 1 whole square into z minus 2. So we are going to find the residue at z is equal to minus 1. So z is equal to minus 1 and z is equal to 2 are the pole of a function f of z. So at the point z is equal to minus 1, it will be infinity, that is this function is not exist at z is equal to minus 1 as well as at z is equal to 2. Okay, so z is equal to minus 1 is a pole of order 2, and z is equal to 2 is a pole, and this pole is a simple pole. So from this equation we are looking for find the residue at z is equal to minus 1. First of all we take z plus 1 is equal to t. So if we put z is equal to t minus 1, that means we'll get the function. This function will be minus 1 by 3t square into 1 minus 1 by 3 whole to the power minus 1. See, this function is actually the series function, and the first term will be 1, second term t by 3, third term t square by 9, and the fourth term will be t to the power 4 by 3 to the power 4, that means 27, and so on. Okay, so there are infinite number of terms. So from this expression we are looking for find the coefficient of 1 by t actually. Okay, so now we multiply by 1 by t square on this series, and from this we'll get the values of this series, or we'll obtain minus 1 by t to the power 2, then The second term will be 1 by 9 into 1 by t. So third term, okay, and it will be 1 by 27 and so on. Okay. So therefore now we'll change the variable t is equal to z plus 1. So therefore this expression will be changed and it will gives the first term. So first term will be minus 1 by 3 into z plus 1 whole square, and the second term will be minus 1 by 9 into 1 by z plus 1, and after that we'll get the third term and it will be 1 by 27 and so on. Okay. So therefore and you know the coefficient of 1 by z plus 1 it is the residue of the function f of z. Okay, and this expression or this series will be the Lorentz series, and the coefficient of 1 by z plus 1 is the residue of a function f of z. So therefore minus 1 by 9 is actually the residue of the function at the point z is equal to minus 1. Now we'll go for the fifth example on residue theorem. Here is the example. Find the pole and its order and calculate residue at each of the pole of the function f of z is equal to z square by z minus 1 whole square into z plus 2. So you know if the denominator part is 0, and from this we'll get the pole of a function. Here is the solution of the example 5. So pole are given by z minus 1 whole square into z plus 2 is equal to 0. So from this we will get z is equal to 1 and z is equal to minus 2, where z is equal to 1 is a pole of order 2 and z is equal to minus 1 is a simple pole. So now using the formula for residue at a finite pole, this is the residue at a finite pole, z is equal to alpha. Okay, so residue of at z is equal to alpha, it will be 5 to the power m minus 1 by m minus 1 factorial for the pole of order m, and therefore the residue at z is equal to 1, and where 1 is the pole of order 2, and it will gives phi dash 1. Okay, so after putting the value m is equal to 2, we'll get phi dash, that is phi of 2 minus 1, that is phi dash 1 by 2 minus 1 factorial, that is 1. Okay, so residue at z is equal to 1 is equals to phi dash 1, where phi of z is equal to z square by z plus 2. Now differentiate the function phi of z with respect to z, we will get this one, z square plus 4z by z plus 2 whole square, and at the point z is equal to 1 we will get the first differentiation of the function f of z, and it will give 5 by 9. So therefore the residue at the point z is equal to 1, where 1 is a pole of order 2, and it will be 5 by 9. And the residue at the point z is equal to minus 2, and you know z is equal to minus 2 is a simple pole, so therefore we can apply the residue theorem, limit z tends to minus 2, z plus 2 into f of z, and from this we will get the value of the residue at z is equal to minus 2, and it will give 4 by 9. Okay, this is actually the residue at z is equal to minus 2, and the value of 5 by 9 is the residue at z is equal to minus 1, and you know this is the pole of order 2. After that we are going to talk about the theorem on residue theorem. So here is the theorem on residue theorem. So let alpha be a pole of order n, then the residue of f of z at z is equal to alpha is given by 1 by m minus 1 factorial, limit z tends to alpha, the mth order m minus 1th order derivative, that means dm minus 1 by dz m minus 1 of z minus alpha whole to the power m into f of z. So f of z is a function, any function, and alpha be a pole of order m. And you know from residue theorem we will find the value of any difficult integration. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the Cauchy's residue theorem. So here is the statement of Cauchy's residue theorem. So let f of z be analytic and on a closed contour C, except at the finite number of singularities, say alpha 1, alpha 2 and up to alpha n, and let R1, R2 and up to Rn are respectively the residue of the function f of z at this pole. Then close integration over C, f of z dz is equal to 2 pi I into residue at the point alpha 1 plus residue at the point alpha 2 plus and up to residue at the point alpha n. So that is close integration over C f z dz is equal to 2 pi I into sum of the residue at the pole within C. So here alpha 1, alpha 2 and up to alpha n are the pole of the function, and these pole are either simple pole or the pole of order n or infinity. Okay, and then from Cauchy's integral formula, and it will be 2 pi I into sum of the residue at the pole within the circle C. Now we are going to talk about the proof of the residue theorem. So here is the proof. So let us suppose that alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha and up to alpha n are the pole, and these pole are within the circle C. Okay, and here is the picture where C is the any closed contour. Okay, and C1, C2 and up to Cn are the circle whose center at the point alpha 1, alpha 2 and up to alpha n respectively, and each of radius smaller, and these radius are so small that all the circle lie entirely within the closed contour C and do not overlap. So then f of z is analytic in that region lying between C and the circle. Then by Cauchy's theorem we have integration over C f z dz minus summation over k is equal to 1 to n close integration over ck f of z dz is equal to 0, and from this we will get the value of this integration, and it will be close integration over C of z is equal to integration over C1 f z dz. When we put k is equal to 1 in this integration, we will get this one, and if we put k is equal to 2, then we will get the second integration, and up to if we put n k is equal to n, then we will get the nth order circle. So integration over Cn into f of z dz. So that is, and from this we will get 2 pi I close into summation over r, where r is the residue at the point alpha 1, alpha 2 and up to alpha n. This is the proof of the Cauchy's residue theorem. So after that we are going to talk about some related examples on Cauchy's residue theorem. So here is the example. The first example is find the residue of the function z to the power 3 by z minus 1 whole to the power 4 into z minus 2 into z minus 3 at the point z is equal to 1. So in this case we are going to find the residue at the point z is equal to 1. So that means if we put z is equal to z minus 1 is equal to t, then from this equation, that means f of z is equal to z cube minus by z minus 1 whole to the power 4 into z minus 2 into z minus 3, and it will be changed, and it will be the function of t only. Okay, so after putting z is equal to t plus 1, we will get 1 plus t whole to the power 3 t to the power 4 into t minus 1 into t minus 2. So that means from this equation we are going to find the Lorentz series expansion. Okay, and from Lorentz series expansion the coefficient of 1 by t, that means 1 by z minus 1, is called the residue of the function this. Okay, so therefore from this equation we'll give 1 plus t whole to the power 3 by t to the power 4 into 1 plus t square minus 3t by 2 whole to the power minus 1. Anyway, this is the series function, and the first term of this function is 1, second term is t square minus 3t by 2, and then t square minus 3t by 2 whole square. Okay, and up to infinity. So there are infinite number of terms. So after simplifying, it will give 1 by 2 to the power 4 into 1 plus 3t plus 3t square plus 3 to the power 3 into this 1 plus 3 by 2 into t plus 7 by 4 into t square plus 15 by 8 into t to the power 3 and up to infinity. And from this we will get the value of the coefficient 1 by t and or 1 by z minus 1. So t is equal to z minus 1. So that is the coefficient of 1 by t or the coefficient of 1 by z minus 1, and it will be 1 by 2 into 1 plus 9 by 2 plus 21 by 4 plus 15 by 8. After simplifying this equation, and from this we will get the coefficient of 1 by t, and it will be 101 by 16. Okay, so this is the residue at the point z is equal to 1 for the function f of z. So this residue will obtain from the Lorentz series. That means from the Lorentz series the coefficient of 1 by z, that means 1 by z minus 1 or 1 by t is the residue of the function f of z. And you can apply the Cauchy's residue theorem as well. So this is the alternative method for finding the residue at the point z is equal to 1. So residue at z is equal to 1, where z is equal to 1 is a pole of order 4. So then we can apply the Cauchy residue theorem. I have already mentioned in the previous slide what is the form of residue theorem, and it will be 1 by 4 minus 1 factorial z tends to 1 in the third order differentiation, that is d 4 minus 1 by dz 4 minus 1 into z minus 1 whole to the power 4 into f of z. So 1 by 3 factorial. So from this it will give 1 by 3 factorial, limit z tends to 1, the third order differentiation for the function z minus 1 whole to the power 4 into z cube by z minus 1 whole to the power 4 into z minus 2 into z minus 3. So this is the function of f of x, f of z. So now cancelling the term z minus 4 on numerator and denominator, and it will give z cube by z minus 2 into z minus 3. Now differentiate this equation. Before we differentiate this function, this function will can be decomposed into a partial fraction. So the partial fraction are z plus 5 minus 8 by z minus 2 minus plus 27 by z minus 3. So this is the partial fraction for the function z cube by z minus 2 into z minus 3. Now we differentiate this partially. Now we differentiate this equation with respect to z, 3i's, will get this value. Okay, so 0 minus 8 into minus 6 by z minus 2 whole to the power 4 plus 27 into minus 6 into z minus 3 whole to the power 4. And if we put z is equal to 1, and from this we will get the value of this limit, and it will give 101 by 60. Okay, so this is the residue, the alternative method for finding the residue at z is equal to 1. In this case we have mentioned the Cauchy's residue theorem, and in the previous section I have mentioned the Lorentz series expansion, and after that we have find the coefficient of 1 by t as or 1 by z minus 1. Okay, that is, in this problem we have mentioned the two different methods. The first method is Lorentz series and the second method is Cauchy residue theorem. So after that we are going to talk about some more examples on Cauchy's theorem, Cauchy's residue theorem. So here is the example. So evaluate the integration over c z dz by z minus 1 into z minus 2 whole square, where c is the circle, and modulus of z minus 2 is equal to half. Let's solve the following problem. So here f of z is equal to 1 z by z minus 1 into z minus 2. First of all, we are going to find the pole of a function, and the pole of a function will find from the denominator, and if the denominator will be 0, and from this we will find the value of z. So from this we will get the value of z, and first of all the value of z is equal to 1, and from the second factor we will get the value of z, and it will be 2. So z is equal to 1 is a simple pole, and z is equal to 2 is a pole of order 2. That means the double pole at z is equal to 2. But only z is equal to 2 lies within the circle C. So you know z minus 2 modulus of z minus 2 is equal to 1 by 2. This is the circle whose center at the point 2 comma 0 and radius is equal to half. So z is equal to 1 is the point, and this point is not lies within the circle. So that is the residue at the point z is equal to 1 is 0, and z is equal to 2 is a point is lies within the circle. Therefore the residue theorem is defined at the point z is equal to 2. Residue theorem, you know, close integration over C fz dz is equal to 2 pi I into residue at f of 2, that is at the point z is equal to 2. So you know where at the point z is equal to 1 the residue is 0. So now we are going to find the residue at z is equal to 2, and you know the z is equal to 2 is a double pole of the function f of z. So residue at z is equal to 2 is equal to limit z tends to 2 d by dz, that is this is the first order differentiation of z minus 2 whole square into f of z, and from this it will give limit z tends to 2 and the first order derivative of z by z minus 1, and this function decomposed into the two partial fraction, or after differentiation it will give minus 1 by z minus 1 whole square, where limit z tends to 2. Now we put z is equal to 2 in this section, and it will give minus 1. So therefore the residue at z is equal to 2 for the function f of z is equals to minus 1, and from Cauchy's residue theorem we will get the value of the integration, and the value of integration f of z dz is equal to 2 pi I into the residue at the point z is equal to 2, and it will be minus 1, and therefore the value of the given integration is equals to minus 2 pi I. Now we are looking for find the solution of the third example. So here is the example: close integration over C z plus 1 by z square minus 2z dz, where C is the circle modulus of z is equal to 5. So first of all we are looking for find the pole of a function, and after that we are going to find the residue at a different pole, and then we will apply the Cauchy's residue theorem for finding the given integration. So let f of z is equal to z plus 1 by z square minus 2z, and from this we will get the pole of a function, and pole of a function are 0 and 2. Here 0 and 2 both are the simple pole of function f of z, and both are lies within the circle modulus of z is equal to 5. Hence by Cauchy's residue theorem we have close integration over C fz dz is equal to 2 pi I into residue at the point z is equal to 0 plus residue at the point z is equal to 2, and we can write the equation number 1. So now we are going to find the residue at the pole z is equal to 0, and after that we are going to find the residue at z is equal to 2. So at z is equal to 0, and it will be, you know, this is the general formula for residue theorem. So limit z tends to 0 z into f of z, and from this we will find the value of the function z plus 1 by z minus 2, and it will be 1 minus 1 by 2. And after that we are going to find the residue at the point 2, and you know it will be limit z tends to 2 z minus 2 into f of z, and after putting the value of f of z, and we will get limit z tends to 2 z plus 1 by z z, and now we put z is equal to 2 in this expression, and it will give 3 by 2. Okay, so residue at the point z is equal to 0 is minus half, and residue at the point z is equal to 2 is 3 by 2. So therefore, from Cauchy's residue theorem, that is from equation 1, we'll find the value of this integration, and the value of this integration is 2 pi I into minus 1 by 2 plus 3 by 2. So after calculation, it will give the value is 2 pi I into 2 by 2. That means the value of this integration is 2 pi I. Let us move on the last slide. So this is the example number 4, or this example is the last example for today's lecture. That is, use the Cauchy's residue theorem to prove integration over C z cos z by z minus pi by 2 whole to the power 3 dz, and this is equals to minus 2 pi I, where C is the circle, modulus of z minus 1 is equal to 1. And you know, modulus of z minus 1 is equal to 1 is a circle where the center at the point 1 comma 0 and radius of the circle is 1. So now we consider the function f of z is equal to z cos z by z minus pi by 2 whole to the power 3. So therefore, from this equation we will find the pole of a function, and the pole will obtain when the denominator part is 0. Therefore, z minus pi by 2 whole to the power 3, this is the denominator part of this function, and is equals to 0, and from this we will get the value of z, and the value of z will be pi by 2, and z is equal to pi by 2 is a pole of order 3. And you know, z is equal to pi by 2, that is the pi by 2 is the point is lies within the circle, modulus of z minus 1 is equal to 1. Hence, by Cauchy's residue theorem, we have closed integration over C fz dz is equal to 2 pi I residue of at the point pi by 2. This is the Cauchy's residue theorem, or the integral value for the function f of z at the point z is equal to pi by 2, and it will be 2 pi I into residue of f of z at z is equal to pi by 2. So now we are looking for find the residue at the point z is equal to pi by 2, and it will be, you know, and you know, pi by 2 is a pole of order 3. So from Cauchy's residue theorem, it will give 1 by 3 minus 1 factorial, limit z tends to pi by 2 into the second order differentiation for the function z minus pi by 2 whole to the power 3 into f of z. So where f of z is equal to z cos z by z minus pi by 2 whole to the power 3. After putting the value of f of z and differentiating, we will get limit z tends to pi by 2 into minus 2 sin z minus 2 cos z, and after putting the limiting value, will get the residue at the point pi by 2, and it will be minus 1. So therefore, integration over C fz dz is equal to 2 pi I into minus 1. Therefore, the given integration z cos z by z minus pi by 2 whole to the power 3 dz, and the integral value of this integration is equals to minus 2 pi I. Hence proved. So I'll stop here in the today's lecture. Thank you.